Welcome back to Good Day. The first of 500 million free at-home COVID-19 tests from the government are showing up in mailboxes across the U.S. But how do you store the tests and when should you use them? Fox Medical Team's Beth Galvin joins us live to talk more about this. Good morning, Beth.
And good morning, Leslie. It's good to be here.
Yeah, good to have you as well. So I actually just got the email notification saying that the kit is on the way. Once I get it, how do I store it?
Oh, well, that's great. I'm still waiting on mine. So I understand you guys are about to get hit with a blast of cold weather. Do not leave it in your car and try not to leave it in your mailbox overnight because these kits are sensitive, Leslie. So the best thing to do would be to bring it inside, store it at room temperature, just in a safe place, and don't open up the elements of the kit until you're ready to actually use them. So just keep it all intact, ready to go. And that way you've got the directions, you've got all the pieces of the kit that you need, and you can kind of take it from there when it's time to actually test yourself.
Yeah, and how do you know when it is time to test yourself?
So there's three different scenarios, Leslie, that really warrant kind of testing. And the first one is if you wake up, and you're symptomatic. If you've got symptoms, it's time to take the test. And then also if you've been exposed to someone who has COVID-19, you want to test yourself. You do want to wait a few days, like wait, 3 or 4 days after your exposure to that person, because it is possible to test too early and get a negative test when in fact you just haven't developed enough virus in your nose and throat to become detectable. And then the other one is if you're going to be gathering with people who are high risk, Leslie, it's a good idea to go ahead and test yourself beforehand just to make sure that you're not going in with an asymptomatic infection or not unaware that you have an infection and possibly passing the virus on to somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Beth, real quick, what happens if you do test negative? What should you do that? Or excuse me, positive. What should you do then?
So if you test positive with one of these tests, they're pretty reliable and pretty good at detecting an active infection. And that means that you're likely contagious. So you need to put on a mask and you need to isolate at home for 5 days. After that, you can test yourself again. If you've got another test, the CDC recommends testing yourself, but doesn't require it. And then you can go back into the world 5 days later. But you want to wear a really well-fitting, high filtration mask for 10 days after testing positive for this virus, just to make sure that once you get over that 5-day isolation period, you're not going out still able to spread the virus to anybody else.
Right. All right. Some great tips. Don't leave those kits in the mail this week. Thanks so much, Beth Galvin with the Fox Medical Team. We appreciate your time.
And thank you, Leslie, for having me.
We'll be right back.